I had one thing to add
Oh yeah.
that wasn't about sleep paralysis, but another story that happened to my girlfriend and I.
Oh yeah.
Um, and this is kind of when I kind of started tying this into like, could this be an alien that's like visiting and like instead of abducting you, they're keeping you frozen while they do a
Ooh.
test or experiment or whatever. They're coming in to check on you. Then you're
Mm,
one of their people. They're one of you're one of their cattle.
that's right.
So like they keep you frozen and they try to keep you asleep, kind of like Inception. You're like, because in the last, what I forgot about. The last time this happened, I was coming out of layers of dreams over and
Mm.
over, thinking I was waking up and I
Oh,
wasn't,
oh, that's
thinking I was waking
terrible.
up and I wasn't. I woke up the last time I was in my apartment in Austin, Texas, where I felt so comfortable. I was like, oh, I'm in my bed there. I haven't lived there in over a year and a half. So then
Whoa.
I go, oh shit, I'm not there. And then I wake up again in the real world. So I was like, what if they're keeping you in layers of dreams? They're trying to, like the Matrix, trying to keep your brain to accept
Oh, I like
what's
that.
happening so you stay asleep. They can only do it for so long. Then you wake up and you're still frozen. They're like, oh shit, we got to go.
Damn. That's
Oh,
terrifying.
Um,
That's kind of like how
so
people are with anesthesia. So the people who wake up, when they're under, some people are, and maybe Paul's one of them.
oh God.
yeah, I'm afraid of that. But what happened to Gladdy and I, her name's Gladys, but everyone calls her Gladdy. I think we went out the night before. We had slept in, and we were living in Hollywood at the time in our apartment there. And I always remember like we had this view out this like balcony of like over Hollywood. It was really nice, but I always like because I'm always thinking about aliens and shit like that. I always like feel like what if they came in the window, at night because we're so accessible to them. They could just come right down in here, and that's like stupid. But so then this happens. We wake up like, or I, from my perspective, I wake up middle of a conversation with her
Hmm.
like this, already talking, and she's talking to me, and she wakes up at the same time. We're having a conversation in our sleep, and it was the creepiest feeling. And then I look down and I'm drenched in a cold sweat, and so
Whoa.
is she.
Whoa.
And she swears before that day she never had a cold sweat, especially in her sleep.
Right.
Like that happened to me occasionally. You get the night sweats or whatever, but I was literally up like this, woke up mid sentence. She woke up mid sentence at the same time, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? It felt
That's
like we were
crazy.
being used like vessels for something else to talk to each other. Like
That's
we were
crazy.
having a conversation in our sleep and woke up with the same. Like I don't know.
I'm,
It doesn't sound as creepy as it felt,
oh, I'm
but
sure.
Sounds like true
it's hard
love.
to explain.
I
The
don't,
vibe in the room when I woke up was like, okay, this is like I didn't even like talking about it for a long time.
I don't know if you heard Alex. She said it sounds like true love.
Oh yeah, it is.
A match made.
What if you're being followed by the same thing throughout these years? That
It
like
could
your
be
theory that
because
they're
it
studying you.
happens no matter where I live, what time of day.
Yeah, you think there's
Um,
anything that like triggers it? Like you have a certain you eat Mexican food or you have a beer?
Well, this is where I wanted to shout out Billy Bottom from Nights Like These,
Mm,
their vocalist. So he worked in like brain and spine stuff in the medical field,
mm,
and I won't try to like say what he does because I'll screw it up terribly, whatever his title is. But he had a colleague who he said he could ask about this after I put out that episode. Him and I had like a long chat about it. He
hmm.
brought up like the creative mind thing, like maybe you're more susceptible to it. So I kind of looked that stuff up, and it seems to be true. And then he talked to his friend at work and gave her, told her everything that's happening to me. And she asked a bunch of questions like, do you have this condition, this disease, this or this or this? And everything was like, no, 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 no. So he was like, basically, all it could be is like a perfect storm of maybe you're down or depressed or having anxiety.
Hmm.
You're also drinking before bed, maybe using nicotine, which I haven't really smoked in years
Right.
consistently, but I use like Zyn pouches. So and he's like maybe something in your diet and you're not getting good sleep and it's just like this perfect storm, which is why it's pretty rare, of like all these things before bed. And I'm just like, I guess, but I had no conditions she mentioned, like
Right.
any of the usual things that would cause that. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so real.
I
There's something in the room, I'm awake, and it's like, why? That's because I had too much spicy food and like drank 5 beers. Like I
I
don't understand.
I think maybe those things could help like weaken your defenses, as I really think something it can visit us.
Yeah,
I do believe in demons now after years of not. I would never even use that word. Like
yeah,
never use that word until I actually saw demons, which I met in Ohio, like those pedophiles that we were catching. Those guys to me were
yeah.
that's a different type of demon we're talking about, but Well, actually, I don't know because like I think they were actually possessed by something, you know. So something was
I
in
was gonna
them.
say, do you think
Yeah.
they're possessed or they were born that way, or
I think there was something evil in them, and maybe it came through birth, it's something, but I don't know how. But something was in them. Like I'm actually, when I'm looking at them in the eyes, it seemed like there was something else behind the eyes. I can't explain it. Like these guys, like I think I said on your show, I wrote in the story, like the one guy, he just defecated right in front of us. It was
oh
like
my god,
it was the craziest thing. He had been caught. We caught him. He was about to walk away with a decoy minor. You know, she was really 22, but he thought she was 12. Um, and seeing him trapped, it was like seeing like there's a physical person trapped, and then there was something inside of him that seemed like it was trapped in him now, and like we saw it. And like
right?
you know, I've been religious for 2 years now, so I'm still a baby, but it was only because I witnessed evil, and it was before that evil. I'm telling you now. So like for me. I'm like, if there's evil like this, like really evil people, like even the person you referenced in your town who chopped up someone, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
That's
yeah,
crazy. Like, what makes you do that stuff? And we had similar stories in our town and in our nearby vicinity. I'm like, so I don't know. I think some things are out there. You know, there's a whole debate. We've had people on this show talk about they think aliens are demons or demons are just demons. There's all different types of demons.
yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
it's all the same thing and it's just different ways of describing it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But if aliens are actually that evil, then we are in trouble because
Yeah. I don't know what to think about the aliens. I've had so many different people talk about them. So many different people with experiences. You know, they've all different kind of experiences. So maybe it's one type of alien, just and there's all different
yeah,
emotions
I mean, there's
behind
got to
them,
be multiple types, right?
right? Like,
Um,
yeah, they're not a monolith. I'm sure some do one thing and others are nicer. You know.
yeah, what was it? Was it Rogan? I was one of the guys he had on, or someone else, but they were talking about like this race likes us, this race doesn't,
Yeah.
this race doesn't care, this race is like psychotic, and like, it's like they all. It's like, yeah, of course, if the universe is as big as we think, or it goes on forever, or whatever, then there has to be a plethora of all different kinds,
Yeah.
and God knows how many have found us,
Right.
if any,
Right.
or if it's the government and a psyop, and who knows what.
Were there a lot of UFO sightings like in your area in Ohio? Did people talk about that at all?
I remember talking about it with like some friends, but I think I was like the one who was into it the most. And I would always look for them, but you're going to find what you're looking for. And
Yeah.
we have an Air Force base right here. So
Mm,
like there's always like C-130s and shit coming in and
right.
out. And then when I learned that, like, I thought they took what some of the Roswell crash to Wright-Patterson, which is in Ohio
Oh,
too.
interesting.
And I'm like, ooh, so I don't know. I always liked being here and thought I would see something, but I can't really say I've ever seen anything that probably wasn't a plane or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. I've always believed in aliens and hope that they're here and that I guess that they're not evil, but
I mean,
who knows?
remains to be seen. You know, when I was in Georgia, I was writing about at the time I was writing about just Confederate gold that had been missing, and in this town, it was supposedly somewhere in this town, but then there was all these weird UFO things happening, and it was very like religious, like Baptist town, and no one there at first wanted to talk to me about this alien thing that was going on. Okay, but it kept popping up from like the younger crowd, and then
Mm.
at a certain point, I meet some of the older people, like in their 90s, and they're like, "All right, we don't like to talk about this, but we did see a UFO land in our yard," and they all had the same story about this UFO, like a straight up saucer landing in their yard
Wow.
in this desolate area of Georgia. That's why I asked about out in Ohio, and kind of like where I'm from, upstate New York,
Yeah,
sort of
I'm
thing
sure
there.
there are stories. Nothing that happened to anyone I know or me. Maybe you've seen some weird things in the sky that I forgot from like years and years ago, but um, yeah, I know there's got to be a lot,
Well,
especially with Wright Patterson here and like all the Roswell stuff, and
right. That's a
they
good
might have had
segue.
bodies here.
It's insane. And the Air Force bases also. Before I cut to this story, I, if you've been watching a lot of these disclosure hearings that have been going on lately, all the sightings that they say are happening when they're talking about it in Congress are all around Air Force bases, which is like,
Yeah,
is it us doing these things or is it
yeah.
aliens visiting?
I don't trust anything the government says ever.
That's
So when all of
smart,
a sudden they're like, "Oh, we want to tell you what's actually happening," I'm like, "Well, no, you fucking don't."
right?
They're like, What?
Right.
Like, what are they getting out of telling us this, or is it a distraction for something else?" And because I've always been waiting for like Project Bluebeam to happen,
Yeah.
like where they're like the false alien invasion. What that people used to think, I think it was
Yes.
going to be like holograms in the sky.
Yes.
Now it's just like, well, we have the technology probably with drones and shit. So maybe that's what New Jersey was the beginning of.
Yes. Now you're preaching to the choir. I think we're there, dude. I think with the marriage of AI and drones, that something like Bluebeam, yeah, we're past the hologram phase. It'll be
Yeah.
something much worse. You know, they're going to deep fake it. They're going to AI it into the sky with drones, and it will be inescapable. And for those who don't know, Project Bluebeam, which we do talk about a lot on the show, so I'm sure you guys do, is where like a theory where they're going to project a fake alien invasion and or some type of return of Christ or some savior, but fake it to bring like the world together and then usher in the new world order, as they would say.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that since the first time I read about it.
Yeah,
I
you
think
gotta.
I had that on my 2024 bingo card. So
Well,
when did the drones happen? Was that last year
yeah, dude, you
or
might have
was
hit
it
it.
this?
You might have hit it.
I might have nailed that.
I think that was some like that was like a soft launch for Project Bluebeam. You know, just
Yeah,
getting their
to see how
toes
they
wet.
react.
Yeah, yeah, and we sure certainly reacted. But I had this story. This is a fun segue into it. If you want to pull up that,
Real quick, we do
yeah.
have a super
Oh
chat
yeah,
from Dingus Khan. Thanks for making me say that.
sick.
I'm curious if you have heard of the Bunny Man legend. I think it was supposed to be in the DC area. We have a similar urban legend in
I don't
Minnesota.
know. Can you pull that up?
Bunny Man?
Yeah,
I've never heard of
I've
Bunny
never heard.
Man.
I've never heard of Bunny Man. Sounds like it could be a rapper, like a
I'll find
SoundCloud
it, but I'll
rapper.
play this video first.
Cool.
For
Paul,
sure.
Paul, you might not hear this, but we'll come right back to you. We're just gonna watch a video about some new
Okay.
UFO disclosure.
Oh, can we hear it?
Aliens for nearly 80, secretly working to capture UFOs and aliens for nearly 80 years.
The American people are ready to receive the truth.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human.
Well, that clip is from the upcoming documentary, The Age of Disclosure. It delves into the reported efforts from the U.S. government to collect any information on aliens and their visits to our world.
All right, Paul. Since you couldn't hear that, it's basically.
I heard it.
Oh,
You did.
oh, sweet. Maybe it was my headphones picking up. So,
Yeah.
what do you make of that? Because it's just a good segue from what you were just saying about the government not trusting them. It's been taboo
I don't
forever.
trust any of those guys.
Yes.
Yes, they're real. They're all here and they're non-human and everything's real. It's all everything you've been told is real. That's what it sounds like to me. And I'm
right.
like, why? Why are you telling me that when the whole thing was you're covering it up for over 50 years?
Right. It's just taboo forever.
Yeah, and now it's just like, yep, they're here. Aliens are real. Okay.
You think that's
and
Mate.
it's like some guys though, like the Air Force pilots and stuff, they seem legit. Like
Yeah.
they're not part of that, and they're like,
Yeah.
we have seen shit, and
Yes.
they are believable to me. But
Yeah.
it's like, why now? What are they going to do with this?
I think, as I was watching that and then thinking about what you said with Bluebeam and anticipating that soon, which I also agree with you. That's if Bluebeam is a thing, if that's on the table, then they would have to do something like this to prep us, right? To get everyone ready.
Right.
And now that that was on a local news thing. It wasn't some obscure place, on Rumble or something.
Yeah.
This was like on Channel 4 or something,
They're dripping it out.
They're
Yeah.
dripping it out, getting you ready. I mean, we're ready. We've been waiting. But the
Yeah,
normal people
I've been
at
waiting
home-
my whole life for that. I just don't know if when it finally happens, it's going to be real or the fucking government.
My gut says the government.
Yeah.
I just because of this, because of something like that.
Yeah. The tone of that is very just like my bullshit meter's going off.
Yeah, they're repeating the same lines. It's propaganda.
Yeah, it's like the news when you see like the reporters all saying the same thing. They've been
Yes.
handed the script on the same day.
Yes.
Like
yes,
a threat to our democracy.
right. They're highly intelligent. They're better than us. They're going to destroy you.
Yeah.
But they've also, I think, I don't know if you heard that clip or not, but maybe in the very beginning they said they're capturing aliens and UFOs.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me, and why they
How
want us
could we
to think that.
possibly do that?
I don't know. Some kind of like plasma beam, some kind of Ghostbuster backpack for aliens.
The only way I could think of is like we probably aren't that far on our own yet, but maybe so let's say there's a bad race and we're friends with a good race and they gave us tech.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I think that is a theory that is plausible in terms of people like to say, how did they have this technology? Or how do we not have all this technology for so long? And then all of a sudden we had all of this growth in technology.
Yeah.
Could have been given to us.
In the last 40 years, right? Or 50 years.
Just like that.
This time flies so much. But we went from nothing to like TV to phones to this to that. Now, it's just going at such an exponential rate. But humans were around for hundreds of thousands of years before that. And all the same materials were here.
Right.
It's just like all of a sudden, boom, we hit something. Something was given to us. Like, I don't know.
I love
it's weird.
The theory that about breakaway civilizations. You go down that rabbit hole at all?
What's that?
It's like ancient human civilizations that were super technologically advanced, and then they left Earth at a time of great cataclysm or something, and then they came back. My real fringe theory is that Elon's part of that, and that that's how he's got all this technology. They've had it for thousands of years, and they've just been chilling in space.
So aliens are actually us from the past.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so trippy, but also very plausible.
Right?
It changed from 99 to 2000. Right?
Wait,
when like the computers
was
like
Y2K.
Yeah.
Y2K. Those are better times.
Yeah,
simpler times. Did you find the Bunny Man thing?
Oh yeah. It's a little odd. I don't know. I just found the Wikipedia if you want to
Sounds like a Lindsey Graham thing. I'll try to read this. Let me get my old man glasses on. The Bunny Man is an urban legend that originated from 2 incidents in Fairfax County, Virginia. That's not too far, right? In 1970, but has been spread throughout the D.C. and Maryland areas. Let me find some. Okay.
Well, it says, go ahead. The legend has many variations involving a man wearing a rabbit costume who attacks people with an axe or hatchet.
Dang. That's kind of like Dottie Darko, but with murder.
Or who was the woman who killed her parents? Mary.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Up in Massachusetts, right?
I thought it was New York.
Oh, I don't know. I know the one in Massachusetts says like a Molly Hatchet or something. Don't they go to her house and people like spend a night there or something? It's ridiculous.
It's
but yeah, I don't know, dude. I think they're preparing us for some big news.
Yeah, and like seeing the capabilities of like the current drone shows and what they can do. Yeah. Imagine if they wanted to fuck with you and didn't make like a cool dragon in the sky or whatever. Like they could make the scariest looking thing that looks so real with drones now. And most people wouldn't put that together, especially if they've been told by the news.
Right.
Like the aliens might be coming this week, and then boom.
And they've been working on this, peppering it in for a while, because it seems like it's gaining more momentum now. But 5 or 6 years ago, the New York Times reported on this. They had this crazy article. They said that the government has retrieved like spacecrafts that were not made on this earth. That was like the phrase in the article. I'm like, that's a crazy thing to just throw out there. And no one seemed to care that we just did that. Like, where are they?
That's what they said in the 50s, and they changed the story the next day.
Oh, with Roswell, right?
We've recovered alien aircraft, and the next day they're like, just kidding, it was a balloon.
Yeah.
And then then all that disappeared.
Yeah, balloon. It's like the balloon they shot down. It was like I think it was last year. They spent like $2 or $4 million on a missile to shoot down what they thought was some type of some UFO of sorts, but it turned out to be a balloon from Hobby Lobby.
Wow.
Legit. Like that's
most advanced nation in the world.
Yeah. It's pretty scary. I was thinking about that a lot during the drone thing. That's how I knew it wasn't going to be a problem, because I knew we spent millions of dollars to knock a balloon out of the sky, and these drones are just going around all willy-nilly with like no issue. So I don't know, man. That weird to me.
Have you seen that just reminded me of the Battle of Los Angeles, I think, that photograph.
I don't think
where there was a UFO over LA in like the 50s, 60s, something, and then the military shot at it, and there's like this famous photograph.
Oh yeah. Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
That does sound familiar.
And if that's real, it's insane. Because they're shooting at it, nothing's happening. And I don't know. I always thought that was really neat.
Yeah, like I don't buy that the stuff is from, I mean, it could be from other countries. They were trying to blame other countries for the drone stuff.
Something like this.
Is that it? I don't know if that's it. I think the one I've seen is actually like is that a painting or is that a picture? That looks like a Hollywood movie premiere.
Well, it was in the 50s, right? So it's not going to be like.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it's.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah. If that's real, that's crazy. But like, who knows these days?
like this?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that photo
That doesn't
forever.
Oh.
Don't know if it's
I
real,
wanna
but it
believe.
was always very, very intriguing to me because they were just shooting the shit out of something and it wasn't falling out of the sky.
I want to believe.